Okay, we're live. Welcome to the May 16th Tullahoma Planning Commission meeting. We have got a short agenda tonight, so let's get right on to it. We do have a quorum, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could ask Mr. Bill Comer to lead us in the pledge.
Face the flag, please. Repeat after me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Bill. First on the agenda here is to read and approve the minutes of our April 18th regular meeting. They've all been emailed out. If you've had a chance to review those, if not, please take a look at them now.
And, sir, thank you, Mary Samaniego, City Planner. Those are the amended minutes per the typo that was in the original draft. So the minutes before you reflect that revision.
Right, yeah, what was emailed out, something, one of our commissioners found an error and got that corrected, so this is slightly revised.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Yeah. If no discussion, all in favor of approving these minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, pass unanimously. Reports from officers and staff. Anything for us today, Mary?
Yes, thank you. Again, Mary Samaniego, City Planner. Our office continues to be busy. We are working through the draft of the comprehensive plan through the steering committee. We've met twice for a total of 4 hours, and we're meeting again this Friday for about 3.5 hours. Given that it's a pretty complicated document to get through and there's a lot of items to discuss. So therefore, the steering committee has taken about 8 hours to get through, is anticipated to get through the comprehensive plan with their proposed amendments. I would recommend, not at this meeting, but perhaps through email, Chairman, that we set up a study session or work session to go through the comprehensive plan. It would be up to everybody's availability if we would either do one meeting for several hours or a series of meetings. I know that it might be difficult to do one long meeting, basically a day. However, when I'm seeing when the steering committee is reviewing the plan, and maybe Scott, you can jump in if you want to, we have to keep, the whole plan has to work together. So if we make one amendment in another area, it could affect other sections of the plan. So I think it might be better to do the whole revision and discuss the whole plan in one go. So we don't have to spend time refreshing our memory of the changes we made last time and the implications of what we're discussing at the following meeting.
So ideally, one meeting of longer length. Okay.
I think it would be appropriate if everybody can meet the schedule.
Okay,
I know it's a big ask, but
yeah, we'll work that out. It's hard to take off work sometimes, but we'll talk about that.
Okay.
And for the record, how many comments have you received from citizens on this
the
document?
number of individual comments, we've received hundreds of comments, recommended revisions or comments from residents through the month-long open public comment session that we had, which is now closed.
And I guess just also for the record, I guess Thursday night at South Jackson, there'll be a community presentation
Yes.
on the plan. Can you just briefly run down what that agenda will be?
The Walker Collaborative Consultants will be in town on Thursday evening, May 19th, at the Jackson Civic Center, where they will be presenting this draft plan to the public.
Okay, Thursday night, 6 o'clock for citizens that might want to attend that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
That's all I have. Thank you.
There is no old business. Our first new business item will be a public hearing. It's for the Legacy Preserve, a major subdivision preliminary plat. Now, I understand that the applicant, we want to continue this, but the applicant would like to speak to that. So I will open the public hearing. And first, if we could hear from Mr. Howard on this plan. Welcome.
Thank you.
had great plans of coming here tonight and getting this approved and walking through this. And we've worked very hard on this plan. We've turned down some other businesses that wanted to build there in order to build a nice community. And then a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, I hear that we can't do this because of some ordinances or codes. And it really upset me, and I was very mad. And Mary's office has been great to work with. They're the best. But then I get to thinking, why? Why do we have these problems? So I looked around and I said, wait a minute now, there's Manchester with all kinds of growth. There's Winchester with growth, as far as subdivisions, I'm saying. There's Shelbyville with growth. And we're sitting here in Tullahoma, and I don't know of any new subdivisions hardly have gone in the last 10 years. And I said, why? And I start looking, and when we start looking at all the culmination of codes and ordinances that this town has put in place the last 20 or 30 years, it becomes impossible to work here. I read an article 20 years ago that in a Tennessee Business magazine, and it was talking about the best and worst places in Tennessee to do business. And I never will forget I don't remember where the best place was, but the worst place was Tullahoma, as far as working to get through any development or anything else. Now, on a positive note about Tullahoma, y'all have made tremendous strides in the last couple of years, and especially with this new plan that you're doing. You've got new commercial developments coming to town, and y'all are working very aggressively toward those things. But we've left out the developments, the residential developments that need to be done in this town. There is a need, there is a big need for residential development. Just like there is, you probably got more need than Manchester or Shelbyville either one, but we don't have any developments. I've got two other developers that are in the same situation I'm in right now. We're waiting on developments, and we've had them postponed. So I guess what I'm here asking for tonight is some immediate action, and I would like to set up a meeting with the mayor and Mary, and bring my engineer, bring these other developers, and let's proceed. We're not talking about a year from now. Let's proceed in the 2-month process it takes to change an ordinance or a code, or 3 months, whatever it takes. I mean, I can live with that. Right now, I've got townhouses that I can go to and build. Am I correct, Mary?
Yes.
So I'm going to start townhomes on what's the name of the road out there?
Ledford Mill.
Ledford Mill. I'm going to start those. I'm going to start most of them, but then you've got these ordinances about the setback lines on wetlands. Nobody else in the state has an ordinance on, there's a 30-foot ordinance you have to have, 30-foot setback you have to have during construction, but y'all got a 60-foot from now on. So those are the kind of things that we need to talk about. Things that you're doing that aren't done anywhere else. And so I asked the mayor, and Mayor, if we can set this up, I would like for you to bring someone from your board, also at least one member, whether whomever, or maybe one of these guys that's on the planning commission with you. But I think this is something that urgently needs to be done, or right now I'm sitting on probably 150 total units with houses and townhomes out there that you need now. I need to move now. The economy's good. We don't want to drag this out for a year till this economy's gone. Same way with, I think Mr. Lester has several units, and Joe Denby has several. So it's time that we make a move now, not 6 months from now, and drag this on. So, because the economy can be gone, or we can be gone. But I think it needs immediate attention. Just the only thing I want to point out is everybody else has had tremendous growth, and Tullahoma hasn't had the growth as far as new subdivisions in the last 10 years that everybody else has had. So there's a reason, and it's got to be your codes and ordinances. And that's all I have to say. And Mr. Mayor, if I could, would you please set us up a meeting?
I'll certainly look at that. You mentioned one issue. You mentioned wetland setbacks. Surely that's not the only thing that's contributing to this,
No, it's not.
okay?
There are, apparently other people are having some fire code issues too, all right? So we would need someone, a representative from your fire group. We would need engineers, I guess. And we sit down and talk about these things and look at them.
I'll see if I can get that set up for you.
And would love to do it this week. And I'll have other developers there too.
I promise you I'll not be able to get it done this week,
Okay.
but I'll get it done as soon as I can.
Okay. All right. I appreciate y'all listening to me. I'm not mad. I'm just at a place that I can't stumble anymore. Okay. Thank y'all.
Well, thank you for your comments, Mr. Howard. This is a public comment period, so are there any comments from the public on this development? Okay, seeing none. Staff report, any comments from Mary on this one?
No, just that the project isn't ready to move forward based
Right.
on code compliance, so we are recommending it continues to the June 20th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting.
Okay. Well, I'll close our public hearing, and I do need a motion to advance this, continue this to our June 20th meeting.
Move it.
I'll second the motion.
And seconded, any discussion? All in favor of continuing this to the June 20th, our June 20th meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, passes unanimously. Yeah, we definitely appreciate your comments. We need to find ways to help grow our community. Okay, our next item on the agenda is Tisha Estates, and there's no comments from the developer on this one. Mary, do we need a motion to continue this one also?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there's no public hearing, there's no discussion on this one.
Motion to continue to the June 22nd or 20th, 2022 meeting.
Second.
All in favor, any discussion on this continuance? Seeing none, all in favor of continuing this to June 20th meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, moving forward, that will be continued to June 20th meeting. Okay, our next item is the Shields Minor Subdivision, a plat to create 3 lots from an existing 4.98 acre property at 2041 West Lincoln. The applicant is Ms. Deborah Shields. So we will have a public hearing on this. As first, if we can hear from Ms. Shields, or a representative of Ms. Shields on this property. Please state your name and tell us.
Hey, good evening. Nicholas Northcutt with Northcutt Surveying, and I'm representing Ms. Shields on this.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about this development?
Yes, in a nutshell, I believe it's Ms. Shields' intention to build a house back on the remaining, I think it's like 3.5 acre portion of property, and then sell 2 buildable lots up on the front.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant's representative?
Which one of the lots is she building on?
The big one.
The big one? Okay.
Okay. 3.58 acres, pretty good size. Okay, if there's no more comments, questions for our applicant's representative, you may step down. Are there any comments from the public on this proposed development, minor subdivision? Seeing none. Staff report, I'll close the public hearing. Staff report, please, Mary.
Okay, thank you, production. As the applicant stated, this is a proposed 3-lot subdivision on 4.98 acres that is located at 2041 West Lincoln Street, towards the edge of the city of Tullahoma boundaries. Here is the proposed layout of this subdivision lots. The largest lot is 3.58 acres, and then lots 1 and 2 respectively are 0.57 acres and 0.83 acres. All lot widths and lot areas are compliant with the existing R1 zoning district. Water, electric, and sewer will be provided by Tullahoma Utility Authority. There are some remaining comments from the fire department and wastewater to be made on the revised plans, which I have before me. Those have been made. Saying that, staff recommends final approval, subject to those comments. That ends my presentation.
Thank you. Can I get a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve with the incorporation of the staff's comments.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just the TUA water and sewer comment was 20-foot public utility easement across the front of each lot. That needs to be shown on the plot.
Yes, and it has been corrected.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, no other comments? All in favor of this minor subdivision request, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, passes unanimously. Good deal. Good luck with the project. Okay, next item on our agenda is a zoning text amendment, and this is also a public hearing. So we'll open the public hearing. Are there any comments from the public on this proposed textual amendment regarding setbacks and mixed-use districts in Franklin County? The applicant being the Franklin County Planning and Zoning Department. Seeing none, Mary, can you please give us a staff report on this amendment? Because we have an extraterritorial jurisdiction via the urban growth boundary with Franklin County, state statutes say that whenever the county entity amends anything with their zoning districts as far as the minimum lot size, high bulk density setbacks within those districts, they have to funnel it through the Municipal Planning Commission for approval. So this has already gone through the Franklin County Planning Commission, and they recommended approval. Now it's being funneled through us before it ultimately goes to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. As far as the substance of the amendment, I discussed it with the Franklin County planner, and basically what they're doing is removing the maximum front yard setback for structures in mixed-use designation, so they can have zero lot line developments and really place buildings anywhere within a mixed-use development lot. Therefore, they're kind of opening for more flexibility as far as the overall design of the project. Okay.
So that would be like townhomes? So you're right next to each other, or can you explain that a little bit?
So their code, for mixed-use districts, their code currently reads the minimum front yard setback is 0. And the maximum is 60 feet. So you can't place the front of your building more than 60 feet back from the front property line. Well, that would be eliminating that requirement. So theoretically, you could have a mixed-use development where you have a very large park up front by the street, and you could push the buildings all the way back to like 100 feet. So it gets rid of that maximum setback.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I get a motion to approve this amendment? Or to discuss this amendment?
Sure. Motion to approve.
Second.
I'll second the motion, but I do have a comment.
Yeah. Discussion.
Yeah. Mary, does this mean that you can build right up to the lot line? 0 setback?
The code, their code currently reads that the minimum front yard setback is currently 0 and it would remain 0. What they're eliminating is the current code says the maximum setback is 60 feet. So they're getting rid of that maximum. So they can build anywhere in any proximity to the front setback. There are no restrictions.
The question I have for you and experience that you have is this 0 setback That seems like it's mighty close to the street. What is your opinion about that?
Well, again, the zero minimum front yard setback is, that part is not changing, but given that it's a mixed-use designation, if they're wanting to do projects that are more urban in scale, it is appropriate to have the buildings placed up front, close to the street, kind of like how our downtown is, and the parking in the back of the property. So again, it adds flexibility whenever you have, typically mixed-use developments have commercial and residential components. If you have a large front yard setback for commercial development, that almost forces the parking to go up front. So if you have a commercial development with a 50-foot front yard setback, it's inferred that the parking is going to go up front, which isn't normally urban in scale and not necessarily more pedestrian friendly. By pedestrian friendly, that's a planning concept where the buildings are placed for pedestrians in mind, not for cars in mind. So the buildings are closer to the sidewalks so people can walk along the sidewalks and engage the storefronts and the office fronts, as opposed to being a large parking lot as a barrier between the sidewalks and the buildings.
This would not apply to residential, but if it's mixed use.
Mixed use, yes.
Okay.
And this would apply for anything in the urban growth boundary that
In the
extends
mixed-
into Franklin County?
Anything in the urban growth boundary that's within the mixed-use districts.
Okay.
So not agricultural, not R1, just the mixed-use districts only.
Are there a lot of those?
No,
Okay.
I think there's 3.
Okay.
Is R3 a mixed use too?
No.
Okay.
Any other discussion? We've got a motion and a second.
What's driving? Do we know what's driving this, or what was the comments from the Franklin County Board?
Again, just to free up flexibility.
Okay.
I don't know the details, but I would anticipate that something like this, there was probably a catalyst project where somebody wanted to come in and do a building at 70 feet, and they ran up against the code requirement, so they chose to reflect on it, which is appropriate. Typically, if there are code provisions that have been placed for a very long time, similar again to almost what Mr. Howard was saying, there are code provisions in place for a very long time. It is appropriate if applicants and or property owners keep running into issues with doing designs based on those standards, it's appropriate to look at them to see if, why were they originally adopted? Are there some factors in place today? Are revisions appropriate?
This actually applies to all of Franklin County, though, does it not?
No, just the mixed-use districts.
Yeah, I know that is, but it applies throughout Coffee County, not just in the.
Franklin County, yes, anywhere in the Franklin County
So the
jurisdiction.
place that they've got an issue may very well not even be in our.
Correct. It could be outside of Winchester.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Is this so that they can build in phases?
No, that has nothing to do with the phasing
Okay,
project.
it's like not put like a building with a 60-foot setback with the plans to come put a building with a 0-foot setback later.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't see that scenario.
I mean, I don't know why they. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I'd be curious where the 60-foot came from in the beginning, but they just want to change it. So the 0 is already there. Well, we've got a motion and a second. Any other comments on this change? Well, I'll call for a vote then. All those in favor of this amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Okay, well, our next meeting will be Monday, June 20th, and we have that going on. We do have a BOZA meeting right after this. But I will call for a motion to adjourn our regular meeting. Motion.
To adjourn.
In a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion, we are closing our regular planning commission meeting and moving on to a Board of Zoning and Appeals meeting. Calling this meeting to order. Please take a look at the minutes from our January 18th, last time we met meeting, that were emailed out on last Thursday. Oh, and thank you, Mary, for getting that out a little early again.
Of course.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor of approving the January 18th meeting's minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Okay, passes. We have no unfinished business. Our new business today is variance 221 to reduce the front yard setback for an accessory structure from an existing principal building to 15 feet at 1208 Greenwood Avenue. The applicant is Christian Glasgow. Is this a public hearing? This is a public hearing.
Yes, it is.
Public hearing. So I'll open the public hearing and ask the applicant to, our representative, to speak. Please state your name and tell us about this request.
My name is Christian Glasgow. I'm the homeowner at 1208 Greenwood Avenue. The only reason for this variance is the way my power runs underground. I can't physically put a structure over the top of it, so my other option was to make it even with the edge of my driveway, and that's only possible by reducing the setback on the Bragg Circle side, because I'm on a corner lot.
How far would the new structure be physically from the roadway?
I want to say it's going to be roughly 15 to 20 feet.
Okay. Any questions for the applicant right now? Okay, no questions. Thank you for your comments. We may call on you again.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any comments from the public on this proposed zoning appeal? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Staff report, please, Mary.
Thank you, Mary Samaniego, City Planner, for the record. The applicant has requested a front yard setback for an accessory structure. The way that the City of Tullahoma zoning code reads says for detached accessory structures, for the front yard, they cannot be in front of the front facade of the house. So you don't necessarily go by the front yard setback. In this instance, is typically 25 feet. You have to go by the front facade of the house, which is from, if you look at the survey provided by the applicant on the last page of your packet, the house sits approximately 40 feet back from the front yard property line. So therefore, the accessory structure would have to be along that same 40-foot plane of setback. And then the other setbacks are 10 feet from the back side property lines, as well as 10 feet from the house itself, which all those other measurements are in compliance. This is a function of the applicant's property is a corner lot, and so the code says on a corner lot, for accessory structures, you have to honor the setback. Both are considered front yards, basically. Bragg Circle is considered a front yard, as well as Greenwood Avenue. Staff looked at this proposal, and given the existing driveway in place, and also if you look at the second to last page, which is the location map for this variance, you can see that Bragg Circle is actually a relatively large right-of-way. So the property line, which is in blue, is approximately 20 feet from the actual edge of roadway. So the proposed structure itself will sit approximately 35 to 40 feet back from the actual edge of roadway.
Okay.
I did a field site visit and looked at the surrounding area and where the applicant is proposing to this accessory structure will not interfere with the placement of the houses across the street. It's actually between two houses, and it will not be out of character with the surrounding development pattern. Saying that, based on the findings of fact, staff has recommended approval of the variance from the front yard build-to line to 15 feet.
Okay. The property just north, I did not get a chance to visit this property as I usually do on these. Is it just a wooded lot right now?
Yes, sir, it's vacant and wooded.
Okay. Kind of conceals anything.
Now, I've driven by this area a lot. I do believe that the house on 2.00 there, their driveway encompasses 2.01, the one you say is wooded. There's maybe a basketball court or something there, I believe. So I don't know that, I mean, they could sell that lot off at some point, but I think it's
Yeah.
encompassed with the house to the side.
Yeah. And he would have adequate setback to the north. It's just to the west that's the variance request, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess if I could get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on this variance request? Yeah, looks good. Call for a vote. All those in favor of approving this variance request, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Approved. All right. Well, good luck with your new garage.
Thank you all.